Hello, Algebra 2 students. I bet you thought you could get away for one day without seeing or hearing Mrs. Heck. Well, you don't have to see me, but you do have to listen to me. This video is to get you started on your assignment today. I would like to do the first two problems with you and then perhaps do another video for some helpful hints if there is time. So what I need you to do is just what it says on this page. Get out a sheet of loose leaf paper and open up your book to chapter 4, number 99. While you are doing that, I will keep talking, and you are right now getting out your book, getting out your loose leaf paper, putting your name on it. I hope you had a good evening and that you're ready to go today. On the top line on that sheet of loose leaf paper, if you could copy down the assignment, 99, 101, those two I'm going to do with you. 104 you should be able to handle on your own. 105 you may need some hints on. I may do a separate video on that one depending on how long this one goes. And then 107 to 111. This is all from chapter 4. So now that you have your loose leaf paper out and you have the assignment written down, we are pretty much ready to go. If you're wondering what these pictures are down below, this is Aaron Rogers. Hello, I'm Aaron Rogers. He's a bit out of commission yet. We're hoping Aaron, we're hoping you come back next week. Oh, I'll do the best that I can. Don't worry. You really are a dominating quarterback in the NFL. Thank you so much. Speaking of dominating athletes, I also have a picture of myself. This one on the right here, that's me as a high school senior. I played softball for the Pulaski Red Raiders, and I'm comparing myself to this WNBA player over here. Notice how hugely dominating I am compared to, this is a picture of a WNBA player. She's actually a teacher at Pulaski, Miss Chandra Johnson, and you'll notice how much more superior an athlete I am next to her. Whatever. Oh yeah, that's just fine. And then this picture, I don't know, I just put this picture on here for the halibut. All right, that was just my way of wasting a little time while you have your assignment out on your paper, and a little humor for today in case you missed me that much. So we are ready to get started on this. You're opened up to number 99, and 99 we are learning about a new function. So on your paper, write down problem 99, and we first of all are looking at this new function. You notice at the top it says, can I transform a new function? So the first one we have to look at is a new function. You have seen it before. It is called absolute value. And basically they use that idea of a machine. So this first machine puts in a -9 and out comes a +9. Ignore that sound. And then in the second machine you put in a +7 and out comes a +7. Third one you put in a square root of a negative square root of 2 and out comes positive square root of 2. And then the fourth one you put in square root of 2 and out comes square root of 2. So this is how the absolute value function works. So on your paper you're putting 99. Describe what the function f of x equals absolute value of x does to each input. So I would look around the room and ask you who knows what that is, but there's nobody here. It's just me and my smartboard, so I will answer the question. Basically, what that does is it always makes it positive. The absolute value of a number tells how far from 0 the number is. Okay? Therefore, absolute value basically tells you, it always gives a positive number. So an absolute value always gives a positive answer. Okay? So that's the answer to part A. And we're familiar with absolute value, so that should be not anything earth-shattering. Okay, so 99A, you're going to write something to the effect of this red answer over here. Question B, find the missing inputs and outputs below. You're just going to make a list of what's missing. So in this first machine, as you look at it, the first machine has an output of 4, and we have to figure out what the input is. The second one, they have an input of 16. We have to figure out what the output is. The third one, we don't know what the input is. We have an output of 9. The fourth one, we have an output of -3. So we just have to figure out the missing spot. So on your paper, for part B, you're just going to make a list of what goes into or out of this machine. So the first one, out comes a 4. That means we put in a 4 or a -4. Sometimes people forget that that one, you could also put in a -4. If you're taking an absolute value of a number, you could put a 4 or a -4, and that would turn out positive. The second one, you put in a -16. If you take the absolute value of that, obviously you get out a positive 16. So again, you're just listing these answers in red. Plus or minus 4, positive 16. Third one, answers 9, so we put in a negative 9 or a positive 9. And the fourth one has an output of negative 3. That one's a problem because you can't take an absolute value of something and get a negative answer. So there is no input for that fourth one. Okay, so for that one, you're going to list plus or minus 4, 16, negative 9, positive 9, and no solution or nothing you can put in to get negative 3 out. Okay, see if you are given an output for this machine, how can you figure out the input? If you're given an output, you do the same number, so whatever that number is, and you do its positive or negative answer. Okay, so if I have an output of 7, I know that I've put in positive or negative 7. Okay, so 99 just gets you started on absolute value. The next one, a little more handy. I would like to speak a little bit about this absolute value function. So y equals absolute value of x. You don't have to write anything down, but just take a look at this new function, y equals absolute value of x. What it looks like is a v, and I always think absolute value begins with v. The graph is going to look like v. The absolute value of 1 is 1. Absolute value of 2 is 2. Absolute value of 3 is 3. Again, you don't have to write this down, but just take a look. Absolute value of negative 1 is positive 1. Absolute value of negative 2 is positive 2. Absolute value of negative 3, positive 3. 0 is 0. The absolute value graph, put it in red, the absolute value graph just makes it's like two positive lines that come together to make a V. So that's, again, part of your job now is going to be to transform the absolute value graph. And we've been working on transformations of graphs and moving them around for so long that this should be really, really easy to do now that you know what it looks like. This is your locator point at 0, 0. And if I ask you to take a function that looks like this, y equals 3 times the absolute value of x minus 2 plus 4, looks rather complicated, but break it down just like we did with parabolas and cubics and square roots and the other ones. So if I had to graph this one, you'd say, all right, I'm going to take this v over here, and I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it 2 to the right. I'm going to move it 4 up. And this 3 will actually, for the absolute value, it will stretch it, make it narrower just like your parabolas, but this actually gives you a slope. This line right here has in the regular absolute value, has a slope of 1 and negative 1. So your slope of your new v will be 3 and negative 3. So let's move this locator point first. It was 0, 0. Now we're moving it 2 to the right and 4 up. So there's our new locator point. It's still opening up. This is not a negative 3, but this slope is going to be 3 instead of 1. So our slope is going to be much steeper. So basically, instead of going up 1 and over 1, you're going to go up 1, 2, 3, and over 1. Okay? Or back 1 and up 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be a much steeper or narrower V. Make sense? Okay, pick your pencils back up, because now your job in the next problem, this is problem 101, they have, write down that on your paper, 101, the next homework problem, they have the graph. So here, here's the graph over here, and our job is to write the equation. Notice it's a V, so that tells you it's an absolute value graph, so its parent graph would be this. But now we have to move it. Our locator point is here, so we moved it 1, 2, 3 to the left, and 1, 2, 3, 4 up. And the slope, if we can tell, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going down 4, and you're going over 2. So the slope here, it's sloping down negative 2 in that direction. And here, it's positive 2. Now notice our V is upside down, so that means that we're going to put a negative number in front of that absolute value. Okay? Did you understand all that? Well, let's write the equation. Y equals absolute value, up with the a value in next, so leave a little space ahead of that. X, 3 to the left is going to be plus 3. 4 up is going to be plus 4. And then this slope again was 2. So we put a 2 in front of there. And notice it's narrower than a normal V. It's a little bit narrower, stretched by a factor of 2. And since the V is opening down, we're going to make that negative. So your assignment will throw in some ideas about absolute value now. Okay, so you can turn off the video and you can work on the assignment at your own pace. Be nice and quiet and be good for the sub. And like I said, you're going to work on 99, 101, 104, 105 ABCD, 107 through 111. I will have a second video. It'll be on the blog. You should be able to find it right next to this one or right below this video. It'll be on number 105. So you've got 99 and 101 done. Do 104. That one should be pretty straightforward. And then if you need help on 105, if you're not so good at the square root stuff, come back, watch that second video, and then once you're done with that one, you won't need the iPads anymore, and those can get put away. But work on 107 and 111 till the end of the hour. I appreciate it. Yes, I do. Good luck, guys.